Okay, seventh graders. This is your first math lesson. Before we start, you will need writing utensils. You'll need your book. You'll need some scratch paper, and you will need headphones so that you can listen to me. Um, if you understand something, you're welcome to skip forward. If you need to pause and rewind, you're welcome to pause and rewind. Do whatever you need to do so that you understand the concepts and you are learning. Do what you need to do for you. Okay, first up, we have some vocabulary. We did some of it yesterday, but we are going to expand on it a little bit today so that we cover all of this vocabulary. So, first up, we have variable. Variable is a symbol that stands in for a unknown quantity. We have something that we don't know plus 5 equals 7. So instead of writing just leaving it blank or something, we replace it with a symbol. So we say x plus 5 equals 7. But it doesn't have to just be x. It can also be, drawing of a snail, um, if you want. I used to get in trouble in calculus class by using alligators and snails and ducks and stuff as my symbols. But so any symbol that can stand in for an unknown quantity is a variable because we can change it and look at what it does and try and solve for it. An algebraic expression is a math formula uh, with variables and operations. Well, okay, it's at least one operation. So if you have like n plus 2, this is your variable. Um, and this plus is your operation. It is still an algebraic expression if you just have like y equals n, because the operation here is the equality. Um, but for your book, they want you to think of it as things with a plus sign in them. Algebra What did I have you guys write on it? It's the concept of solving for unknown variables. Okay. I think I'm going to change that just a tiny bit. Is using symbols to solve for unknown variables. I think I'll put in symbols there. You don't have to change it if you have it from yesterday. I'm just changing it a little bit. Coefficient. And what did I put for coefficient? The number next to a variable. Coefficient is the number next to a variable. The number next to a variable. They are multiplied together. And then define a variable. Okay, defining a variable is choosing a symbol to stand in for your unknown quantity. Okay, I think that's all of our vocabulary. Go ahead and pause there if you need to. But moving on, characteristics of expressions. Numerical expression. Let's see, algebraic expression. So this just has numbers. And operations. Oh wait, so I guess probably did that wrong. No variables. They both have numbers. And they both have operations. Algebraic expressions, though, have variables. Okay. The expression f minus 32x or times 5 on ninths can be used to convert a temperature from Fahrenheit to calculus. In this algebraic expression, the variable f represents the degrees in Fahrenheit. So we have our coefficients, like 6 is our coefficient, which means that we have 6 times d. 9 is our coefficient, which means we have 9 times s times t. M and n are put next to each other, which means we multiply them. And a to the third means we have a times a times a. The numbers in front here are coefficients. And then if you have y divided by 2, 1/2 is considered your coefficient. Okay, examples. Evaluate 2n plus 3 if n equals -4. So when we are solving these, when we substitute n, we are solving for, we're going to solve, but when we substitute n in, we always make certain we put it in parentheses, because otherwise we can get confused. If this was like 8n, then we could end up with 8 -4. 8 minus 4 is 4, but that would not give us the correct answer. So instead we need to solve inside here, and that is -1 and 2. I did that by taking these parentheses away, and then -4 plus 3 is a -1. -2 times 1, because remember, if it's in parentheses, we multiply, is -2. Our answer is -2. If you want me to break it down into a little bit longer form to show kind of exactly what I did, I have 2n plus 3 equals, then I substitute the n for that, so I have 2 minus 4 plus 3 because I substituted. Then I take these parentheses away because I don't need them in this case. So -4 plus 3 equals, and then I solve here. That gives me -4 plus 3 is -1 times 2. And then I multiply 2 times -1, and that gives me -2. And that is my answer. That's the kind of longer, more broken down form. And that is number 1. Number 2, 8w minus 2v, where w equals 5 and v equals 3. So we rewrite it where 8, and then we substitute in for the w. Remember to keep it in parentheses. 2, and that v is in parentheses. 3. Now we can do 8 times 5, which is 40, minus 2 times 3, which is 6, equals, and then that equals 34. And 3, 4y to the third plus 2 if y equals 3. So we have 4 times 3 to the third plus 2. Now, it's important that we remember that before we can multiply 3 times 4, we have to multiply the 3 times itself 3 times. So this becomes 4 times 3 times 3 times, times 3 plus 2. Or if you already know what 3 times 3 times 3 is, which is 3 times 3 is equals to 9, times 3 is 27, you can just put, 4 times 27 plus 2. 4 times 27 is 25 is 4 times 25 is 100 plus 4 times 2 is 108 plus 2 is 110. Okay, now let's see if we can do our A, B, C, and D. So we have for all of these, C equals 8 and D equals -5. So A, C minus 3, C is equal to 8, so we have 8 minus 3, the parentheses go away, and that is 8, just 8 minus 5. And that is equal to 5. So A is equal to 5. B, 15 minus C. 15 minus C is 15 minus C, and C is 8. We can drop the parentheses because we don't have anything to multiply by. That is 15 minus 8, which is 7. And then C, 3, C plus D, and we substitute in. The C is a 8 plus D is a -5. We solve inside the parentheses first. 8 minus 5, because we can drop those off. So we have 3, 8 plus a -5. And whenever we're adding a -5, it turns that positive into a negative, because adding a negative number is the same thing as subtraction. So it just becomes that. 8 minus 5 is 3 times 3. 3 times 3 equals 9. Then D is 2C minus 4D. We substitute in our C's. 2, 8 minus 4, -5. 2 times 8 is 16, minus 4 times 5 is -20. We are now subtracting a negative. So subtracting a negative gives us actually a positive. So we have 16 plus 20, which is 36. And we have E, D minus C squared Substitute in our d, negative 5 minus 8 squared. So we can drop off on this side, so it just becomes negative 5 minus 8 times 8. So negative 5 minus 64, because 8 times 8 is 64. And what is that? That is negative 71, at least if my ability to do math is leading me correct. I'm not always the best at it. And last one, F. 2d plus 5d is 2 times negative 5 plus 5 times negative 5. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 plus 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Negative plus a negative is just a negative minus a negative, and 10 minus 25 equals negative 35. Okay, so I should probably write these in over here. So I have A is 5, B is 7, C is 9, D is 36, E is negative 71, and F is negative 35. Next example. Athletic trainers use the formula 3 times 222 minus A, where A is a person's age, to find their minimum training heart rate. Find Latrina's minimum training heart rate if she is 15 years old. So we have 3 times 222 minus A. Now we substitute 15 for that A, and they should have put parentheses there. Bad book. Then they can drop them off, and they have 3 times 222 minus 15. 222 minus 15 is 205. 3 times 205 is 615. 615 divided by 5 is 123. So her minimum training heart rate is 123 beats per minute. Got it? Let's check. Go find the area of a triangle. Use the formula base times height divided by 2, where B is the base and H is the height. What is the area in square inches of a triangle that has a height of 6 inches? So H equals 6 inches, and base equals 8 inches. So we substitute in a 6 for H, and we substitute in a 8 for base, and we divide it by 2. So that is 8 times 6 divided by 2. If we 8 times 6 is 48 divided by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24. This is G. And what are 24 what? Well, 24 inches, and since it's inches times inches, we call it square inches. Write expressions. To translate a verbal phrase into an algebraic expression, the first step is to define a variable. When you define a variable, you choose a variable to represent an unknown quantity. Example: Marissa wants to buy a DVD player that costs $150. She has already saved $25 and plans to save an additional $10 each week. Write an expression that represents the total amount of money Marissa has saved after any number of weeks. So, she is saving $25. Oh, she already has $25 plus $10 more each week. Now we are picking our variable. So this is the defining a variable part, is this section right here. We are saying W equals weeks. W equals weeks. So now we have 25 plus 10 times W. So since we have $10 each week, we do it as a multiplication. So 25 plus 10 times W. We don't need to put that multiplication dot there. We can just say 10W. 25 plus 10W equals the total savings. Next example. Refer to example 5. Will Marissa have saved enough money to buy the 150D DVD player in 11 weeks? So use the expression 25 plus 10W. So we have 25 plus 10W, and then we are substituting in, and see, this time they did it right. This time they showed those two parentheses. So that it means that 25, and then we're substituting the 11 in for the weeks. 10 times 11 is 110, plus 25 is 135. So she has $135. Does she have enough? No. 135 is not more than 150. She does not have enough money saved up. Okay. Last example, H. An MP3 player costs $70 and song downloads cost 85 cents each. Write an expression that represents the cost of the MP3 player and the number of downloaded songs. Then find the total cost if 20 songs are downloaded. So we have a $70 thing at to start with, so we have to spend at least $70. Then plus, we're also spending 85 cents per song. So what do we want to equal our songs? Well, I say S equal songs. So you can pick another symbol if you want to, draw a musical note. Go right ahead and you can use a musical note for this. 70 plus 0.85 times songs equals her, how much money spent. So now we're going to substitute 20 into for S. So because we're doing it at 20 weeks or 20 songs, and that equals 20. So 70 plus 0.85 times 20 equals money spent. 0.85 times 20 is something I can't do in my head. So I will use a handy dandy calculator. And that equals 70 plus 17 equals money spent. 70 plus 17 is 87. So how much did she total? How much is spent in total? $87. Guided practice 1. 3m plus 4p, and m equals 2, so we have 2 plus p equals -4, 4 parenthesis -4 equals, and so we can multiply that out. That's 6 plus 4 times -4 is a -16. 6 plus a -16 is 6 minus 16, and that is equal to -10. 2. N squared plus 5. N is equal to 6. Six squared is 36 plus 5 equals 41. 3, 6 p to the third, where 6 and then p is -4 to the third, and 4 times 4 is 16 times 4, I don't know. So I will again use a handy dandy calculator. 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. So now we have 6 times a negative 64. 6 times 64, I can't do in my head either, equals -384. Okay, and I should put in my answers: -10, 41, and -384. A website charges 99 cents to download a game and $12.49 membership fee. Write an expression that gives the total cost in dollars to download G games. Then find the cost of downloading 6 games. So our formula is we have to spend $12.49 right away, plus we have to spend 0.99 cents, or dollars, I guess, times G to figure out total money spent. Now we have to figure it out where G equals 6. So G equals 6. And 0.99 times 6 is something that I can't figure out. It's going to be 6 almost. It's going to be like 5.94. I'll check. 6 times 0.99. Yep, 5.94. So we have 12.49 plus 0.996 equals, and then that is 5.94 plus 12.49, and that is roughly, let's see, 12 plus 5 is 1750 plus, I'll just use my calculator because I don't want to do all that in my head. 12.49 plus 5.94 equals 1843. $18.43. Now over here, we have to write a formula, which is 12.49 plus 0.99g equals total money spent. And evaluated at 6 games is $18.43. Last one. Tell whether the statement below is sometimes, always, or never true. Justify your reasoning. Expression x minus 3 and y minus 3 represent the same value. It is sometimes true if x and y are the same. Now, for your guys' independent practice, I want you guys doing the odds. So that is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, and don't have to do with the extra practice. We'll be moving on. Good luck, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me. Couple hours.